I'm Danny Barnts from the CCAA, and I'm joined right now by the head coach of the Cal Poly Pomona women's basketball team, Danelle Bishop. How are you doing today, Danelle?
Doing awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're just hoping to hear a little about your Broncos team. There's 3 games left in the regular season, and so we're just hoping to hear as you guys come down the stretch what some of your focus are and everything else like that. So, got to make a quick take us up to date of where we're at right now. The Broncos are currently in third place. You guys are 13-6 with 3 games to play. You guys are 2 games out of first place at the moment, and you guys have won 3 straight. So, can you just tell me a little bit about how this final stretch has been going for you? You guys had a real tough stretch about 3 weeks ago where you guys had to go through the top team. So, just tell me how your team's standing now.
Yeah, that was a tough stretch because we were not only going through the top teams, but we lost one of our starters during that time too. So not only did we just lose a key piece, but also, just trying to, I guess, learn how to play without her, and getting people to step up. So for us as a team, that's been just kind of nice to see how we've adjusted through that. And Lord willing, we can get one of our starters back here maybe down the stretch. We're not sure yet, but yeah, just trying to get healthy and just trying to, just remember what our identity is. And, a lot of that is set on our defense. And that's been something we've done since I've been at Cal Poly. So just trying to just keep that mindset down the stretch. And, it's a tough thing to do, because I think naturally everybody is offensive minded. And when we do get there, I think we're pretty solid. But I'm excited. I'm excited for him. We've been playing hard, and I think as a coach, that's when we play hard and just trying to play together, and that's what I've really seen in this group is just a lot to get togetherness, unity. That to me is really fun to see.
Absolutely. And like you said, I think that's the interesting part as you talked about having to kind of reformulate your team as you go along with somebody being injured or something like that. Is that I got to ask you just a little insight? Is that the first time this year you've had to do it, or have there been a couple of kind of other adjustments you've done throughout the year to kind of continue to refine your team going forward?
Yeah, it seems like almost honestly, unfortunately, it seems like that's with every team and almost every year. And it's just one of those things, and teams adjust differently, and I think, we talked about in our first Zoom that we have 9 new players who are already trying to get new people to, learn the system. But then, we kind of have our little bit of a rotation going, and then we lost one. So now getting other people back into that rotation. So just trying to figure that out and things like that. So they've done a great job. And, at the end of the day, obviously we're praying our player gets better, and the whole team. I think it's the time of year. I think everybody's going to be a little bit banged up, and you're going to look around the conference, you're going to see people with legs wrapped, arms wrapped, like all sorts of stuff. It's just that time of year. But at the same time, for us, it's been nice just to just kind of see our team start to gel in other areas, and so that's been exciting to see.
Well, let's talk a little bit about those 9 new players, and then a couple of the stats that you have on there. You bring in 9 new players as you're talking about there, and I got to just add these together. You guys talked about traditionally you've been a defensive team, and I think that's been the reputation, especially under you at Cal Poly Pomona. But right now, you guys are the only team in the CCA in the top 3 in offensive scoring. You guys 72 points a game, holding opponents to about 61.5 points per game. And then you guys are number 1 in the conference in opponent field goal percentage, about 36%. So my question for you is, how do you get everybody on the same page? Because it seems like you guys aren't just good in one area, but you have to be a team to be good in so many different areas like this.
I think that's what really establishes our culture and sets the tone for our culture. And culture for us is consistency and doing that day in and day out. And I'm sure they get tired of hearing me sometimes. It's every day, just harping on them and, getting their minds, focused on that defensive end, or getting their mind focused. Hey, we've got to push the ball. We've got to do this. And that's hard when you're playing defense and then coach is telling you turn around and push the ball. So the only way to do that is be able to come in every day and you practice that and establish that tone early on. And so it doesn't just come as a one-time thing. We are constantly on them about it. And so, my biggest thing as a coach, and, I've just been doing this a long time, is I'm okay if they get upset with me right now. And, if we're cutting down nets later, they're going to be really happy about it. So, or whatever that might look like for us as success. I said cutting down nets right now, we're 2 games behind, and, but maybe it's nets for the CCAA tournament, maybe we get an opportunity at the NCAA tournament, who knows? And those are all different seasons. We're in the regular season, then we have the CCAA season, and then Lord willing, we have an NCAA season. So, and we try to always talk, it's a clean slate once you get to all those. So just try to keep our focus, and they've done a pretty good job of it. And I think the games we've struggled in, you can kind of see where we've given up too many points and things like that. So we'll just try to stay on them and keep that focus and try to keep moving forward the best we can.
At this point of the year, during your practice and stuff, would you say you're spending more time on offense or on defense in practice?
Well, the answer is typically defense. We struggled a little bit offensively, obviously missing one of our offensive players that has been out. We struggled a little bit, not this last week, but that 2 weeks ago. And so just our coaching staff just sat and met. And so I tried to just put in a little bit more offensive stuff, to just try to work on a little bit more of, just so we can kind of, yeah, I think we were spending probably too much time on defense. So, so we struggled a little bit. So, it was good. I think they adjusted to that. And, I thought we did well this last weekend, offensively and defensively. So it was a good mix.
Awesome. Thank you for letting us know. I know you haven't really mentioned too many players' names, but I am going to bring up one really quickly. She was a returner for you this year, and she's actually the defending CCAA Player of the Week, Kalea Bugs. I'd like to just talk to you what type of leadership she's given to your team. I thought I'm a different one, but I thought she kind of took a step forward last year in the CCAA tournament, and it feels like she just continued on that upward trajectory this season.
Yeah, she's been awesome. And I think for her, you have to remember she comes from an outstanding high school, is well known, Long Beach Poly. They were very successful. In fact, Nala Dominguez is from there, Lily Bugs is from there. So they've had a lot of success and great players come through that program. But when she was there, she was more of a facilitator. And I think each year it's a little bit different. So last year, she's a little bit more of a facilitator. I think to start this season, she started off as a little bit more with that facilitator mentality. And so her and I were kind of chatting in the van on one of our road trips. She's like, oh, I don't know why, I'm scoring more in the second half than the first half. And so I don't know if this resonated with her, but, I just kind of said to her, I was like, hey, I think it's because you go from this, I can score mentality to I have to score mentality. And so with that, I've been trying to challenge her like, hey, we need you to score, because when she's scoring, because I think she's a tough matchup. I think she's a tough matchup. But when she's scoring, then it makes it even difficult to match up with our other players that are out there. Because I'm sure you're probably going to ask about Sydney Nelson next, right? And then we've got shooters out there with, you got Bree Ha out there. And so we need her to score. She's capable of scoring. And she's a two-way player. She's one of our top defenders on the team. So with that, also being said, I just want to add just her IQ. Her dad was her coach all through high school. She's been around the game, her mom as well. And she's been around the game and she just understands it. So it's really like having another coach out on the floor. She knows most of the time when we're reviewing opponents. So like today she's stepping, hey coach, what do you think about this? Awesome. So those are just things that you hope for as a coach. And that's what you want your team to be able to do. So you're not having to coach through everything. And so she's out there and she's capable of, I think, just doing a lot offensively and defensively. And so I'm really happy for her. I think it's well deserved. She's worked really hard for it. And so I was really happy that she was awarded that again this week.
Outstanding player. You guys do have opportunities. We talk about your final games. You have 3 games left in your regular season. You guys have the opportunity to play all 3 at home. You guys will face Cal State, Monterey Bay, Stanislaus State, and San Bernardino. I know you don't look ahead. You only look one game at a time or something like that. But could you tell me just some of the seniors that you'll have and some of the opportunity you have for senior day and maybe that coming up on one of these next games?
Yeah, so we have Sydney Fedenis, who's been here for 4 years and opted to not use her COVID year because she was it's not admitted, but accepted into the WBCA. So you want to be a coach program.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're super excited for her. It was a great opportunity. But with that, you have to be done with your eligibility. So she'll be out of that eligibility. So anyway, but we're really happy for her. And unfortunately, she kind of never had any knee injuries and has had some knee stuff going on this year. But we actually thought maybe she wasn't going to be able to finish out the season, and she's just worked super hard to come back and coming out there and just playing a big role for us. So just awesome academic on the academic side, and has been a leader for our team. So we're obviously gonna miss her, but we're excited that she's still with us right now. And she's like, she wants to go into coaching. And so she's another person who, whether she's on the sideline or on the floor, it's like having another coach out there, and she understands, she's been here long enough, understands all of our defensive concepts. So it's great that having a player that can kind of be in their ear a little bit as well. So, and then our other seniors, we have two. So our other senior is Reina Saucedo, who came to us from Modesto Junior College, who's just been a burst of energy and comes in and, just every day in practice and, just working hard. She can give us shots when we need shots. She's been running some point for us. Just kind of whatever we need her to do, she's jumping in and doing. And again, just excellent student, in the classroom, and has been a great leader for our team as well.
Thank you so much. Like you said, we just wanted a chance. I know it's always special to have those seniors, chance to have that final closeout that day with them. So good luck. What day will senior day be?
The San Bernardino game is going to be the Thursday. Yep.
Didn't want to assume, as sometimes they do them on Saturdays. So,
Yep.
Okay, my final question for you, Coach, and this will give you a chance maybe even talk about some more of your players, as you have so many good ones out there. But if you were a coach scouting the Broncos right now, what makes the Broncos a tough matchup going forward?
I think we just have a lot of players. I know Kalea has kind of gone up, and Sydney Nelson in their scoring. But we really, for a while, we had 5-6 players right there around 10 points a game. And I think when you're scouting an opponent, you're like, hey, wait, she can't hit the three, she can drive. Wait, she can rebound, she's handsy on defense. So I think we just have a lot of people that can do a lot. And so I think that's what makes us different, makes us unique. I think we have some two-way players. Sydney Nelson's a two-way player. Both, her and Bugs can rebound as well. We've got shooters, so I just think we make for basketball's a game of matchups. I think we can make for a tough matchup, especially when we're on and playing on both ends and things like that.
Well, it's really impressive, like you said. I just throwing out those numbers really quickly. You guys have 4 players still in double figures of scoring. Kalea Bugs is at 16 points a game, and Sydney Nelson is at 15 points a game. And then Jeanette Fine at 12 and Brianne Ha at a little bit over 10. The other one that really stood out to me is just the great rebounding numbers you guys have. That's closing out. I know you have to close out defense possessions by getting that ball back.
Yeah, and we actually, during that stress, because Jeanette Binet is actually our player that's been out, so we're losing those points. And so we've had other people step up with Andrea Staisha stepped up. We've had Mydrea Moore, one of our other freshmen, step up. And I know I'm missing people, so whoever I miss, I'm sorry, but we've had a lot of people just come in and step up. And so that's been, really, really nice to see. And on the rebounding end, I know they get mad at me, but I am constantly on them. It's rebounding and defense. So they're in that little stretch, we're missing Jeanette's rebounding and physicality. So they really had to step up on that. And so I was really excited this last weekend. At one of the games, we had like 55 rebounds. And then the other game, I think we had 43. So those are always, and we shot the ball well. It wasn't like, we had that many and we shot, really bad. So that was really exciting for us as a coach, and things that I'm always happy about. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Coach. Like I said, just thank you for hearing the insight into the Broncos.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks for doing these. We appreciate you covering us.